and welcome to my video this week. I'm sorry I've been away for quite some time, but hopefully things will start to settle down a bit now. Anyway, what I thought I'd start with today is a few bits and pieces around starting off cooking or baking. So without no further ado, let's get into this. So, you want to start cooking and baking. Well, it's important to first have a basic understanding of food safety and food hygiene. To keep your family safe, it's important to get a few things right. So I've got 8 points here that I hope will help you on your journey to cooking. Okay, so point number 1. Always wash your hands with soap and warm water. Give them a good thorough scrub and dry them off thoroughly. You don't know what bugs you could be carrying around from opening doors, out and about, touching bits and pieces in supermarkets. You just don't know, so it stops any contamination of your food that may present in time. It's also important to do this when you are handling raw meat, particularly raw meat, and then you come to chop vegetables. Always wash your hands between both. It's a good idea to wash your hands regularly, regardless really, but for safety and food hygiene reasons, make sure you do it before you start anything and after handling. Okay. 2, always store food at the correct temperature. Now you can find the food temperature information on the backs of packets. It tells you where to store it, how long you can store it for, and the temperature it should be stored at. Really important. If you go below or above, you could cause certain bugs to come and rear their ugly head inside your food, which you don't want. Chicken particularly is prone to this, but all meats that aren't thoroughly defrosted before cooking, or meats that are cooked from frozen that haven't quite reached the correct temperature, and I'll cover that one in a minute, but for now make sure you store your foods at the correct temperature. Now a fridge should be around about 5 degrees Celsius or lower, and a freezer as far as it'll go. Now always a good idea to buy a fridge thermometer and a freezer thermometer to keep an eye on your food. For your own safety, it's a good idea to keep an eye on those temperatures. Be aware of use by dates. There's a whole thing around, is it a use by date? What's the best before date, etc, etc. Well, use by dates are for food items that are fresh, such as meat, dairy, anything like that that is, if left at the wrong temperature, could actually cause you a great deal of hurt, such as salmonella, E. coli, etc. Now, it's important that you follow use by dates for this particular reason. You don't use the food after the date shown. Bin it. It's safer to bin it, especially when you've got elderly people in your household or young people who are susceptible to these bugs. But please don't eat it after the use by date. If it's a best before date, then you've got a little bit more extra to play with. The best before date means that after that date, it's not going to be as good as it would have been within the date. So for instance, bread might be a bit drier, cake would be a bit drier, biscuits might be a bit softer, that kind of thing. It won't necessarily harm you, which going past a use by date could, but it may not be as good as it had been had you eaten it in. Now, another thing we have to be aware of, try and store your vegetables away from your raw meat. That's the main thing. And your cooked meat away from your raw meat. Reason being is that any juices from your raw meat, if it gets into your vegetables or, God forbid, your cooked meat, you could end up with food poisoning, and we don't want that. We want to keep our family safe, don't we? So please don't do that. Before starting, always clean your work surface down. It's always best to use a good old antibacterial spray and a cloth. And I personally use paper towel, just simply because you can throw that away. If you've been using uncooked foods or raw meat, anything really that's been on your work surface, we do all kinds on there, especially if your bag's been on the floor somewhere or in the back of a car or what have you. So the best idea is to clean your work surface down before you start cooking, so that any contaminants that have come in on the bottom of things won't get into your food. Try to use different colour chopping boards when you're chopping food and vegetables. Wooden chopping boards are lovely, they look nice, they are nice. However, if you're going to chop raw meat, the juices from the raw meat can get into the grooves on your chopping board. That, if not washed properly at a high temperature, can then stay in your wooden chopping board and create bacteria that can multiply and cause tummy bugs. So either invest in a glass chopping board, which is always good and easy to clean, or you can invest in some mats that I have. You've probably seen them on my channel. There's some green ones and some red ones. The red ones are for meat, the green ones are for vegetables, and you can buy various other colours as well, which you don't necessarily need, but they're easy to wipe, they don't carry contaminants, and you can clean them easily. Always ensure your meat is cooked to the correct temperature. It's a basic one, this one. And we do, in days gone by, we would just cook it and cook it and cook it until we thought it was ready. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. Hence the old dicky tummy at Christmas with the old turkey. However, these days we've got things called food thermometers, instant read food thermometers, and they're great. You've seen them used on my channel before, where I was checking my chicken. I think they're about £10. You need one battery, and when it's ready it'll tell you the temperature. It comes with a list of food temperatures, so it's easy to tell whether your meat is cooked or not. So these are the basics of food safety and food hygiene. If you want any further information, I'll link below the Food Standards Agency website, so you can go and have a look there. But common sense at all times, people, and enjoy cooking. That's the main thing. Enjoy what you're doing. Okay, for now, Liz out.